This MMA 30 segment is powered by Bodybuilding.com, the #1 sports nutrition e-tailer. Get the latest products from Muscle Farm at Bodybuilding.com. We're talking right now with somebody from the WWE world who is a huge fan of the UFC and mixed martial arts. Stone Cold Steve Austin is joining us here on the MMA 30 Radio Hour. Stone Cold Steve Austin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You got a new TV show coming out.
Yeah, we sure do. It's called Tough Enough, and it was a blast making this damn thing.
So Tough Enough, I mean, that's a good name, and you seem like the perfect host for it, but what exactly happens on this TV show?
Well, you know, it's all about a WWE contract. What we've done, we've taken 14 contestants, 9 men and 5 women, and we put them through the paces. We train them. Myself, I'm the host of the show. Bill DeMott, Booker T, and Trish Stratus are the trainers. And, you know, I'm there to weed through the weak, find the strong. I'm the judge, jury, and executioner. And at the end of the contest, we're going to have a winner, and that person's going to get a contract.
I think about Stone Cold Steve Austin. You don't strike me as a particularly – I wouldn't come to you looking for mercy. And don't take that the wrong way. You just seem like you'd bring the hand of God down on someone if they're not performing. Did you have to do that a lot throughout this show, or did you find that most of the contestants that showed up were taking this pretty seriously and were ready to go?
Oh, you have to take it seriously because, I mean, the business is a hard thing to get in, period, especially right now. And I'm hard on these kids from start to finish. And, you know, with that being said, I'm not trying to go overboard on them. I just know what it takes to make it. And if there's one thing I know about it, it is this business. There's some lighter moments. I give some advice because I would love to see all of these kids make it. But the reality is most of them won't. And that's just the way it is. So I give them the truth. I don't BS them, and I tell it like it is.
Now, a big part of the WWE and really any level of show business is the show business aspect of it. How involved did you get in the process of teaching them to say, smash cans of Coors Light on their face?
Well, you know, there's a saying in life, you know, work smarter, not harder. Well, these kids aren't at the work smarter, not harder stage. These kids are at the work harder stage.
Got it.
They haven't got to the finer nuances of a character development when I could teach them all of that stuff, because I would love to have a finishing school where I could actually help kids work on that end of it once they have reached a high level of mechanics as far as being able to do everything in the ring and have a vast understanding of psychology. But this is a time in this show where these kids got to work their ass off to make it to the top.
What do you think is harder, actually getting those mechanics down or developing a winning personality?
The winning personality. You know, I worked for 7.5 years before I really got a break and couldn't put all the pieces together. You know, I was stunning Steve Austin, and then I went to the WWE, and I was the ringmaster. And then, you know, with a lot of thought and, you know, just racking my brain, we came up with the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. Once I had that gimmick, once I had that name, and I could relate to it, I was ready, because mechanically I was ready to do anything. And once I found that great gimmick, off to the top.
Do you ever miss those golden locks that you used to rock back when you were stunning Steve Austin?
Man, I tell you what, I have been bald for so long. I shaved my head, but I got a receding hairline. I'm not going to try to say like I don't have a receding hairline. I don't miss those golden locks at all. And I remember when I was a kid growing up, we'd be walking to the drugstore to get a Coke, and you know, these older women would be in the drugstore, and they would say, "Oh, your hair is so beautiful. Do you dye it?" No, I wasn't dyeing my hair. Hell, I was 11 years old. But me not having a lifetime guarantee on my hair was probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
You're one of the few guys that has really parlayed your success in the WWE into a huge entertainment career in Hollywood. And, I mean, you've been doing movies now. You're hosting this TV show. What is next for you? I mean, do you have goals beyond what you're doing right now, or do you feel like this is a moment where you're living the dream?
No, you know, I certainly have goals. I'll tell you what, after traveling around the world for 15 years, hardcore, and, you know, going out there and putting my body on the line, I want to stay as busy as possible. You know, I always feel like if you can work, you do work. And I like to be as productive as anybody, and I like making money. So, you know, times are tough right now. We all know that. I'm thankful that I've been so busy. I'm happy that Tough Enough has been received the way it has. And I'm thankful for having the fan base that I've had, you know, that have helped me have such a tremendous career, man. I love my fans.
Now, last year, the Expendables, you were a part of that, and a good friend of ours here at the Dave Mahoney Morning Show, Randy Couture, was also a part of it. Were you able to kind of forge a relationship with guys like Randy and with Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone and Jet Li and the other kind of superstars in the action world?
Man, I bet Randy Couture was wanting me to go jump off a bridge.
What do you mean?
I would talk to that guy till the wee hours in the morning, asking him questions about the MMA and UFC world. I'm just a huge fan, and Randy was one of the nicest, classiest guys I've ever met. And me being a big fan, when you get a chance to sit there and talk to a world-class fighter and a Hall of Famer, you make the most of it. So I had a great time hanging out with that guy, and for Sly, me and Sly would be in a makeup trailer, and he'd be telling me stories. It was a great time, and I enjoyed hanging out with all those guys. And Randy was especially nice. And hell, in our fight scene, he could have kicked my ass. He took it pretty easy on me, so I was happy about that.
I'm going to write this down. One thing that I never thought would happen in the course of my lifetime is Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, me and Sly were hanging out in the makeup trailer together. So let me go ahead and cross that off my list.
That guy's got some classic stories because, I mean, he's had one of the greatest careers in all of Hollywood, a huge worldwide icon and a draw. And when you've been in the shoes that guy's been, he's got some great stories, and they would usually start in the makeup trailer, but I won't tell you any of the stories. I'll just say that's where they started and stopped.
I see you at a lot of the UFC events here in Las Vegas and around the country. Brock Lesnar is the former UFC heavyweight champion. He came in and really went on a tear. And are you and Brock pretty close? Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I love Brock. He's a good old boy. We love to hunt. We have many of the same interests. And, man, when that kid first stepped through the doors of WWE, I knew he was going to be special. And they don't make them like him anymore. So he's a rare cat on 2 feet. And, yes, I really do like Brock, and he's a good friend of mine.
Do you think he's got the fire in his belly still to return and again be the UFC heavyweight champ one day?
Yes, I do. Brock is an alpha male, and he does not like being second best. He's a great wrestler. He's come around on his striking game. I think he's going to continue to improve. He'll take that loss he suffered to Cain Velasquez as motivation, and they're going to start, they're already training. They're in the camp doing what they do. But no, if I'm going to bet on Brock Lesnar or against Brock Lesnar, I'm always going to bet with Brock Lesnar on Brock Lesnar. He is success.
Is there any sort of rivalry between the two of you, though, now that you both are hosting these reality shows, kind of both doing similar things, just in two different worlds, yours being the wrestling world and his being the mixed martial art world?
Oh, I don't see it as competition. I mean, obviously you want to try to have higher ratings, but the truth of the matter is I watch The Ultimate Fighter, and I have been for 4 or 5 years now. So I'm a fan of the show. I've got my show, and obviously, man, if you're in business, you want to be successful. So do I want my show to have better numbers? Absolutely. Because, I mean, that's just competition. I always want to be the best at anything I do.
I'm a big fan of both the shows. Both of them are really good and compelling to watch. Another thing I was a big fan of, I was a huge fan of the Expendables, and even though you took a couple bullets in the Expendables 1, is there any chance that you're going to be making a return maybe as a zombie in the Expendables 2?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'd be one badass zombie.
Zombie Stone Cold Steve Austin? Hell yeah.
If Sly gave me the call and said, hey, Steve, we want you in number 2, I'd be there. But, I've heard rumors, but I don't believe anything I've heard until I see it. So if it happens, wonderful. If it doesn't, I'll go down the road.
All right, well, we're big fans, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin, thanks so much for being on the show today. Make sure you watch Tough Enough. It's on USA Monday nights, 8 o'clock. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.